Hey guys, welcome back to Horror Huddle with me, Stacey-Beth, and Ash.
Howdy.
We are doing our part 2 of our little found footage journey that we've been going on. Hopefully y'all watched last week's video, but we're going to be talking about some good ones today. The first couple we're going to talk about are like kind of dealing with like internet horrors and stuff like that. Not horrors.
Well, also, we should bring up the fact that most of these are directorial debuts.
Yeah, all but one.
Surprised me.
Yeah, all but one we found out while we were kind of doing our research is that they were all directorial debuts, which is kind of crazy.
I think 4 out of 5 were, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the first one we're going to be talking about is 2013, I think it's 2013, The Den. That was a good one. It's on Netflix right now, actually. So the whole premise is this girl is doing a case study where she goes to this kind of chat roulette type website and I guess kind of just observes people doing whatever they do.
Yeah, basically she's there. Her study is about like the interactions of people from diverse cultures and how they interact.
Yeah, and of course, you know, you can't do that without something terrible happening. She witnesses what she thinks is a real murder, which it turns out to be a real murder, and then...
And it's a really good one, too.
Yeah,
I thought.
It's pretty... Yeah, it's like, it's a little jarring. It's a good one. It's not one of the best found footage films I've seen, but...
Well, I think it's handicapped because the movie really just goes with Skype or chat roulette. It's from her computer screen, which works for the first part of the movie, but once it gets past that, you know, you have people going through houses with their cell phones, like on FaceTime going, and it's like, dude,
yeah, that's so funny.
get the fuck
It's like,
out of there first off, and don't have your phone in front of your face.
it's so funny. It's like everybody's FaceTiming on there. Nobody's texting. Nobody's calling. They're always FaceTiming. I'm like, I don't have fucking time for that shit. But
Yeah, and I don't know about you. I hardly ever use FaceTime, so I wouldn't know why.
Oh no, when I had an iPhone, I never did. But yeah, it's mostly webcam footage, FaceTime, and it's definitely, you'll definitely get a better viewing experience if you watch it on your computer. It did get a little far-fetched towards the end when you start getting a little bit more of a reveal of what's happening and stuff. It gets a little too much because it's the whole deep web thing it kind of goes into.
Like crazy stuff like 2 Girls, 1 Cup.
That's actually easier accessible than stuff on the deep web. You got to kind of, I've never been on there, so watch out. But yeah, it did get a little too crazy for me towards.
I thought the actress that played the lead role of, I believe, Lex, she did a really good job. And she's been in a few other horror movies. I thought she did pretty good.
No, she was really good. Yeah, I mean, and there were good points about it. It was. I thought the timing, like the pacing of the movie, was done well. I think it was like between 70 and 80 minutes.
Yeah, and it flowed really well. I mean, there was no real areas where it's like, God, this is dragging.
Yeah,
on.
nothing really lagged. It didn't really drag or anything, and it kind of just kept you going throughout. So I'd recommend it.
It's at least a watch through. Definitely if it's on Netflix, definitely watch it once.
Oh, definitely. Like watch it on your computer in the dark in your bedroom when you're home alone, because then you're going to be fucking terrified.
And better yet, do it on your computer.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Yeah, do it on your computer, definitely.
So the next one we're going over is from 2011, and it's Megan is Missing.
Yeah.
That one was, if I'm not mistaken, Ash, you didn't even finish it.
Well, first off, let's start with the first part of the movie. It's about 2 girls.
Yeah, it's two teenage girls, I think 13, 14, 15 years old.
Yeah.
It's just through the youngest one's video camera. She's kind of shooting everything, I guess, as a teenager would do. I don't know. I guess kids do that nowadays. I never did that shit. And then they meet someone on the internet who's like this skater dude who's saying he's a teenager as well. Of course, we all know, that's not the case. He ends up not being a fucking normal person, but like a crazy murderer. It definitely had like a PSA feel to it for sure. Like like the dangers of, letting your children on the internet.
Stranger danger.
Strangers, talking to strangers now, and how easily accessible that is,
So yes,
nowadays.
the movie does drag on a bit in the first half, but it's
It's pretty fucking boring, and it definitely made me go like, God, I fucking hate kids. Like, kids are stupid. Teenagers are really fucking annoying.
Yeah. But the last 20 minutes, I will say, I didn't see. I saw 1 minute of the last 20 minutes, and I just gave up.
Yeah, there was, so they, it cut, and then it says, these last 20 minutes are the footage we found on her video camera. And so they showed it, and that's actually when it got good, but it also got really fucking intense, because if you haven't seen it and you're like, there was like a 3-minute rape scene, and it just makes it really hard to watch, because this person, this girl is playing a 14-year-old. So you're like, and it's very in your face, from the chest up or whatever, but it's very in your face, and it's very uncomfortable, and it's really fucking awful. Like, it's definitely like super intense and just really raw, and it's not.
So if you're not into that kind of stuff, if that kind of stuff turns you off, as in like just disgusts you, I would just say don't watch the rest of it. Just assume.
Well, I hope not watching teenage child rape is something that our viewers are not into.
Unless you're from Subway.
Oh damn! No more Subway for me. Yeah, it's definitely it's boring in the first part, or pretty much throughout, and then but that the last 20 minutes definitely leave an impression on you. You feel a little gross afterwards, so it's kind of a bummer. But it's for me, it was just a one-time watch kind of thing for me.
Yeah.
I definitely couldn't do it again, and not because it was so intense, but because it was just fucking boring. Like, I don't think I could sit through.
Yeah, on the opposite end.
I couldn't sit through the hour of that just to see something. Yeah. Yeah. It was a little much. We're going to be going next over the Sacrament. We're going to go a little bit, away from the terrible, horrifying, scary, murderous internet.
Yeah.
The Sacrament, which is definitely a different use of found footage, which is why I loved it. But it was directed by Ty West. It's pretty much based off of the story of Jim Jones and was it the People's Temple? I think it was.
Yeah. Temple, Jonestown.
Yeah, we all know. But, this was totally different.
Not a lot of us do know, because we got a lot of millennials, like young ones, that probably never heard of it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Basically, big call leader decides to take people out in the middle of the jungle, and they all kill themselves in the end. And that's basically what this movie is.
Yeah, this movie, it's this guy, Patrick, gets a letter from his sister, who is like a recovering addict, and she's in this religion or this compound group of people, and not obviously it's not like, oh, I'm in a cult. And she lives in this place called Eden's Parish, and he decides to go out and see her, but brings his 2 coworkers with him, and so they could do a documentary for Vice. And then, of course, with what happened in Jonestown, this is what happened. People fucking kill themselves because the guy's a fucking schizo. It's definitely a slower movie until shit pops off, but throughout,
I think it's used well, because the slow parts are them interviewing the cult members and trying to get the way of life there, if they're happy, if they've been brainwashed.
Yeah, no, and you see it throughout. Like, you can totally tell something's off, and I think that's what made it great, though. Like, even though it was slow-paced, it was a good slow-pace, because you got this sense of dread throughout the entire time.
It was like everything's just a little bit too perfect.
Yeah.
And something just behind the curtain is just waiting for them.
Yeah, something is definitely off, and if you already know the story, you know that something awful is going to happen. So just that feeling of dread throughout the entire movie that you're watching, you're waiting. You're just sitting there like really anxious and just waiting, because you know something fucking awful is going to happen.
And the one that gives the worst vibe is the father.
Oh, played by Gene Jones, which is like
which is ironic that name's so close to Gene Jones.
Gene Jones.
He does the perfect part of just playing that somewhat stereotypical cult leader. Come, my children, let us drink. We have Kool-Aid.
Yeah. Exactly.
And
Exactly.
it's
If I'm not mistaken, you said you had mentioned to me before about this. I think it was like a mini series or something. Powers Booth played Jim Jones.
Jim Jones, and it was a TV miniseries, won some Emmys, called Guyana Tragedy, Story of Jim Jones. Has James Earl Jones, Ned Beatty. I mean, it won so many awards, and his portrayal of Jim Jones is spot on.
Yeah, I'm going to have to check that out for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely worth it if you're into stuff.
Yeah, but as I had mentioned, this is an interesting use of the found footage aspect of it. The reality of it was so terrifying because you knew that something very, very similar to this had actually taken place.
And it has a good moral message at the end.
Yeah.
Don't join a cult.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I want to start a cult one day, but nobody has to kill themselves.
Well, if you do start a cult, let me do the merchandise. That can be little statues of you with a bobblehead or something like that.
Yeah, just like, dude, totally. Yeah. I mean, but don't worry. Again, as I said, no one's going to have to kill themselves. So we'll be okay. We'll be it's probably where everybody's just going to be drinking. We're just going to be hanging out at bars. So it's not really a cult. I guess it's just hanging out. Anyway.
The night time is the right time. The night time is the right time.
Oh my God. Yeah, we'd be the worst fucking cult ever. People would kill themselves because we're so boring. Yeah. Okay. So the next two we're going to be talking about are our examples of found footage films done right.
Yes.
Starting with 2014's The Taking of Deborah Logan,
which is also set documentary style.
Yeah. That's all. It's also shot documentary style. So this, I don't even remember her name that she plays. This documentary crew is making this film on Alzheimer's. So they go to this woman's house to film her mother, who is going through Alzheimer's. And I guess they're just kind of going to document the
slow progression of
the disease, just
her personality.
And so that's kind of cool. It's one of those movies that gives you that, like, okay, this makes sense why they're constantly filming throughout. You know what I mean? Like, because she does have Alzheimer's, but then throughout the movie you start to realize there's something more sinister, and
let's get it out of the way. It is a possession movie.
It is a possession movie, definitely. Yeah, it's
and it has been played out so much that the genre's kind of gone boring. But this one actually does well because they use the Alzheimer's as pretty much a mask of the symptoms of possession.
Yeah,
so as she's going through these episodes, you're thinking, okay, this is the ALZ. This is just her slowly deteriorating.
Yeah, and it's neat because
she's possessed by this evil thing.
Yeah, and it's not your typical possession movie, which makes it really, really cool. It had really effective scares. It was genuinely terrifying. And so again,
that was jump scares, but they were, y'all already know how I feel about jump scares most of the time. This is where it's done right. Because literally it just gets you in the worst way, even for mundane little things. It just gets you and scares the heck out of you.
Yeah. I was definitely fucking scared. It was one of those movies that just kind of popped up on Netflix and surprised everybody with how good it was. I didn't want to watch it initially because I saw, The Taking of Deborah Logan. Let me guess. It's something, the possession is so-and-so, the possession is so-and-so. Okay, I've seen it once, I've seen it numerous times. And then all of a sudden I started hearing everybody talk about how good it was. And I was like, oh shit, okay, let me watch this. And then I realized that it is this different movie. It had a lot more to offer than most found footage movies do.
A lot of these possession movies, I think, suffer because the story is generic, and also the cast usually don't give their best performance. This time around, though, they got some good actors and actresses to play these roles, and I can't remember the name of the lady that plays
Deborah, Jill Larson.
Okay, yes. Anyone who watched soap operas, All My Children, Opal. It's the same lady that plays that nice, sweet character off of that show is Deborah. And she plays it perfectly because in the beginning of the movie, through halfway through, you feel so bad for this nice, sweet woman. And her going from that to the dark place, just where you just scared to death when you see her. It's awesome.
And it was cool. It was cool because it made another thing that I guess found footage films suffer from is the whole logical point of why the fuck are you filming still? Why the fuck are you filming still? This one had reason to keep filming because throughout the whole movie, as far as they were concerned, this was just the Alzheimer's doing this, which, because if any of y'all have been around people with Alzheimer's as we have, it is very similar to that, just someone being possessed.
There is that one point, because in most movies, there's always that, you're always like, dude, get the hell out of there. There is a character, and I cannot remember his name.
I don't remember his name either, but he's one of the camera guys. And
yeah, who's literally like, screw this, I'm out of here. You can't pay me now.
Yeah, I think he says, like, the Greg train is leaving. Like, I'm going. Something.
Leaving. Goodbye. And
yeah,
I was like,
which is great. Yeah. Oh, I was like, dude, you and I would have been like, later, suckers, bam, bam. Like, we would have been out of, like, we would not have known what happened after that, just as long as we got paid, who gives a shit. But yeah, it definitely was a surprise. It was a great movie. It definitely reminded me to not completely put off all found footage movie.
It's like almost straight to VOD,
Yeah, because they're not all terrible. There are some really good ones out there, which is going to bring us into our next one, which just came out this year, Creep, which is good. It's right now, it's pretty much my favorite horror movie of 2015 so far. So that one is a videographer he gets a job off of Craigslist to film this guy for 8 hours for like $1,000. And at this remote, undisclosed location, whatever. So he goes, and he meets Joseph, who's played by Mark Duplass. If anybody knows him, he's from The League. And the director, Patrick Bryce, plays Aaron, the videographer. So it's literally just two guys the entire movie. That's it. And
unlike Taking of Deborah Logan, which is a slow build, this one literally right from almost the first scene. It's got you in that place where it's like, something's wrong here.
Yeah, because right off the bat, who's the creep. You know that something is off about this man. They do not. It's simple. It's a simple film. There's no frills. They look. This is what we're giving you, and here it is, and this is the story. There's, I think, little to no violence, no gore whatsoever. It
mostly relies on just unsettled feeling that you get just watching. It's like, dude, this guy is just kind of 3 fries short of a Happy Meal.
Yeah.
It's that, and also jump scares.
It's also a plausible story in the sense that, how many horror stories do you hear about people getting jobs or meeting people off Craigslist and them being wackos, or shit, there was a Craigslist killer, and stuff like that. That's what also made it a little scary, that you're like, shit, this person I'm going to go buy a phone from could be a fucking murderer, and I could be next, But Mark Duplass is fucking incredible in this movie.
He's what really makes that movie
real. He's amazing, and he's so likable. Because he's kind of quirky and he's a little off, but he's so fucking creepy. Like, he plays creepy so fucking well with his jump scares. Like, he was the only one doing the jump scares. You know what I mean? And it was great because the jump scares were a little cheesy, but it was great because he was basically fucking with Aaron the entire time.
And through him fucking with the audience.
Yes, exactly. So they were very effective jump scares because they were just like, oh, God damn it, you son of a bitch, you fucking scared us. Like, it was kind of like that. You had that feeling.
And you get mad because you're like, I should have seen that coming. Damn it.
Like, he's like that shitty friend that you have that you don't want to leave to go to the bathroom because you know that he's going to be waiting on the side for you to come out every fucking time you go. That's what he's like. But he also happens to be a murderer. So,
The ending, there are some moments at the ending that seem not necessarily unbelievable, but very, very stupid decisions on certain characters' parts, which kind of does play into the character from even the beginning. It's like, gosh, just making bad decisions left and right.
This guy's fucking stupid as hell, and it's great because they let you, they're in on it too. They're very self-aware. They're like, look, we understand that this guy's doing stupid shit.
Once you get to the ending, you'll realize the movie is uber self-aware to the point where it literally, the final act is like literally telling you, yes, this movie, we just fucked with you.
Yeah. It was, I don't know, it was a great fucking movie.
It was.
And I love that they set up the film, the ending, to give you a sequel. And I loved it because it's a character who you want to see more from. You actually want to see more out of this person. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's because of the actor, what's his name again?
Mark Duplass.
Yes. Just, he is what really makes the movie.
Yeah. If you
yeah, I could definitely see watching more movies with him in it as a crazy killer.
Definitely, yeah. And if any of y'all have not seen it, go watch it now. It's on Netflix. It's on Netflix. You will not be disappointed. But that's gonna do it for our little found footage journey we took you guys on. I don't know what we're doing next week, but it'll be fun. It could be a number of things. I don't know if anybody has any suggestions for what we should do next week.
Yeah, just leave a comment.
Leave us a comment, or fucking find us somewhere on the internet. We're always there. But thanks for watching.
As long as it's not the dark web.
No, yeah, you can't find us on the dark web. I don't think. I hope not. Thanks for watching, guys.
Take care.